All right, it's time for more content I'm not allowed to outwardly explain, but the link will be in the description.
The reason that there's such a void of male role models for young men is because
That's a pretty good video. Go watch it if you want. He's basically just talking about guys' mental health and why we have no masculine role models and why everybody isn't masculine nowadays. But the biggest
Men don't have role models anymore because feminists have spent the last 100 years destroying everything that men spent thousands of years building for them, because even though they had everything they could possibly need handed to them, they had to start complaining about voting rights. That's why kids don't have positive male role models in their life anymore. It's feminism and the government and weak ass males with no ball sacks.
thing that people just kind of skip over are the declining testosterone rates. And it's really bad. Like, it's not one of those things where it's like 2,000 years ago. It's like, no, like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, people had double the testosterone. That's crazy.
That's social engineering for you.
The exact reason why, if you look in your dad's yearbook, you'll see 16-year-olds who look like 25-year-old men. When you look at our yearbooks nowadays, you see 18-year-old guys looking like 12-year-olds. Prioritize testosterone, and it's not impossible. There's just a few things that you need to do to really optimize your testosterone. The
first one is to stop thinking like a bitch every day.
First thing you need to do is get enough sleep. You need 8 hours a night. It's non-negotiable. That is like the biggest thing. The second thing is going to be drinking enough water, exercising, and having a good diet, eating a lot of protein. Things like that, we kind of all know about that. And then finally, take supplements like vitamin D, boron, and fish oil. These are very important.
Surprise, the number of young single men in America is at a record high.
That's because young single men are tired of paying for garbage.
That's why.
I think it's become a pretty well-known fact in this country, at least amongst men, that if you get married and it doesn't work out, you will lose your home, your money, your future income, most of it, and you will become a bankrupt weekend visitor to your...
On top of being irreparably impoverished and most likely suicidal, to the point where you actually commit it. Some of you women are fucking crazy because you think you can alienate kids from fathers like me and still be alive after you do that. You act like that's some kind of right. Another reason why men, at least my age, aren't married is because you are no longer worth the prison sentence. You are not worth killing just because you alienated our kids from us.
Your own children, and it will absolutely destroy your life.
Yeah, single mothers don't care about their kids. That's why they're single mothers.
And I know women don't like us talking about that on here, and there'll be some neurotic women with pretty much no valid point arguing in the comments, and I don't really care. I mean, if you want to be ignorant, that's great. But men are afraid to get married, legitimately. A lot of them stop.
Why would I get married when marriage is nothing more than a lottery scratch off for women? Makes no goddamn sense. I was ready to settle down when I was 22, and women didn't want to settle down with me because I was a traditional man, and they didn't want to be with a traditional man. So it's nice to see that times haven't really changed much, because I was 22 19 years ago.
What a really dysfunctional marriage looked like, and a lot of girls too. And what advantages are there even to getting married anymore?
None, unless you're a woman. So congratulations, because you feminists played yourselves.
To worry about things like that, if a man is miserable, he has to walk on eggshells, because if she leaves, or if he...
One of the biggest problem for women right now as far as marriage is concerned is that men are rediscovering our self-respect, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do to compete against a man with self-respect. You just call them Chads and Tyrones and then say all men are garbage because you can't be with Chad and Tyrone anymore.
Leaves her, he'll lose everything. Everything. He will be homeless, bankrupt, and never see his kids. And I'm not talking about the guys that don't want to see their kids. Don't get it twisted. But I think that this app makes you think that there's a lot more deadbeat dads than there really is. I think that that's actually kind of a myth.
Social media in general is making twos think that they're tens, and that's more of a problem than anything else because you need to be brought down a few pegs.
It's not as common. It's just the thing that you hear people complain about. Many dads don't get custody, and it's not because they're abusive. I know that a lot of feminists like to make that argument, but that's bullshit. There's a lot of dads that don't get any more than weekend visitation with their own children every other weekend that aren't abusive. They didn't do anything wrong. The divorce wasn't their fault. And it destroys their kids. And it creates the cycle all over again of fatherless homes and the statistics and the things that that does to children. So I think we need to have a more honest conversation about what's going on.
Well, at least it's not the 1950s anymore when mothers actually cared about their children. So at least that, right?
Because these men and these women that are growing up, I mean, they don't see good examples. What benefit is it to get married? Women see that all men are toxic.
I'm 41 and a half, maybe. And with the exception of 1 year, I've lived in a blue state my entire life, so I really have no idea what a functional, traditional marriage looks like, except for what I see on TV, and none of that's real anyway.
And men all see that women will rob them eventually if they don't want to be married anymore. So if we're going to keep letting the family court system do this to people, I mean, that's the problem right there. The American family is pretty much, nuclear families aren't anything anymore. They don't mean anything to anybody.
Most men are only born to raise families, and since feminists decided that we didn't deserve to be able to raise families, we're just not carrying it. You are literally trying to suck men back in who do not give a shit anymore because you've raped away every incentive they used to have to care. So, I mean, thank God you listen to those bitter lesbians who are never going to get married instead of men who actually care about you, because
being in love doesn't either. It's just scary, and it's the way that it is. We have a court system that bastardizes children for profit.
All right, she's just rambling.
Marriage is a joke. So if we're gonna say marriage is a joke based upon 90 Day Fiance, like, nah, man, you need to stop watching.
No, it's based off of the numbers. It's based off of 1 in 4 marriages are sexless. 1 in 4. The average length of a
Just Pearly Things, or Hannah Pearl, I think her name is. She is a 5. But if she were actually traditional, she would be a 10, and I would snap her up like that. But women would rather be whores because it's empowering. So, I mean, yeah, why don't I have a ring on my finger?
first marriage is 7 years, and it gets smaller and smaller based on how many marriages there are. It's based on the fact that women are paid to lead and take half and take your children. That's why it's a joke. It's not based off of a TV show.
Yeah, so
this one has a little sweetness to it.
Things masculine men aren't allowed to do. Basically everything. This society is fucked up and people don't even care.
What makes me say that?
Yeah, what makes you say that?
Okay, 2 things. Filters and makeup.
Makeup's lying.
Makeup is the most accepted lie in society. I'm not...
So do you think also dyeing your hair an unnatural color is lying?
I suppose it is, yes.
Okay. So reshaping your body and working out and giving yourself tone muscles, that's also changing your appearance.
That's not a lie though. That's you're actually making a change.
You're accentuating your body.
You're conflating exercising and getting fit to make up something that can be put on and removed.
Couldn't you compare your beard to makeup since it hides your jawline?
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
No.
No, not really.
How come?
It's definitely different. How
How
come?
is it
Even in
different?
public, he's gonna have it. And if he does take it off, it's gonna grow back as a part of him. Whereas we choose when we want to put on and take off makeup. I don't know.
I mean, but you can choose when you want to take off a beard.
It's changing your appearance.
It's totally different though.
But yeah, because you contour your face to look a certain way, whereas you can't tell your beard to grow a certain way. Well, you can shave it a certain way.
Yeah.
Like you can shave it. Like I know many guys like.
Why would I want to get married and listen to bullshit drivel like this all day when I can just be single and do anything I want whenever I want to do it?
Do certain haircuts.
All right, I don't care. Shut up.
Or like beard shaping, just to like get a certain defined jawline, like to make their appearance look different.
So you're comparing
Anybody remember this couple? So Tia Mowry tweeted she knows that love will find her again. Doubtful. And if it does, it'll be a man that earns less than the man that she had. If you wonder how much less is, well, Corey Hardick, her ex-husband, had $3 million in net worth. Tia saying that she's going to find love again is her trying to convince herself that she's going to find a man at the same level or above the level of her ex-husband. But her ex-husband is in the
99.9% of people in America get divorced because they can and not because they need to. And that's why families don't last anymore, because mostly women say, oh, well, this marriage thing takes effort. I better get married or divorced and take everything he has until he's dead in the street from a gunshot wound to the head, because that's so much easier.
top 1% of men. Understand, when I say a top 1%, I only mean in terms of monetary value. I don't know what that boy integrity and honor like, because I ain't seen it. And as we see, just months after her divorce, if it's even finalized, she's already trying to appeal to the male's most basic and primal instinct. And this is why you're going to see a lot less of this, and a lot less of this, and a whole lot more of this. So let's ask ourselves, what type of high-earning man or man at all wants that last image as a wife? There isn't one. Less than a year after her divorce, she's already trying to appeal to the sisterhood because she needs some type of feel-good empowerment to replace what love she had in her actual marriage. But the sisters just can't do it. Oh, sure, they'll talk all of that. You go, girl. You look great in that. And that's simply because they would like Tia to remain single because they felt jealous at the fact that they couldn't get a high-value man just like the husband she had. They'll never tell her to dress modestly so she can acquire another husband. And at the end of...
Not only are Tia and Tamara Mowry older than I am, they also haven't been relevant since I was 12, 13 maybe, in like 1994. And she's sure that love is going to find her again.
The day Tia is heterosexual, she don't want no taco. The fallout. Tia is doomed to find a man that of which she will likely have to be the breadwinner for. All or most of the money that she has acquired, if she wants a relationship with a man, she'll have to yield to him under his authority. Or she'll find a man that is simp and soft enough that she can have him and still wield the power of economic stability. But that'll only last so long.
Submission to men in marriage isn't about actually submitting to us. It's about working with us and giving us your input and just trusting that our decision is the right decision at the end of the day. That's all it is. You act like we're fucking asking you to move mountains.
Because she'll end up losing respect for him and he'll end up growing some nuts. Because it's only so many times I don't give a fuck who we house in that you're going to disrespect me by holding money over my head. And why is that, you may ask? Because at the end of the day, Tia can't whoop no man. And as a rule, neither can any of you other females. But she's just at the beginning stages of self-destruction. We haven't seen the videos of her crying and breaking down about what she once had and her hope for the future. Well, shit, that didn't age well. What else is going to happen? Well, more than likely, she's also going to start telling stories about what she's training her children up to be. I would predict she's probably going to tell her daughter something of the variation of never depend on a man and make sure that you have your own such that a man can't control you. That'll be in her angry phase. She hasn't met that yet.
What could
Not sure
possibly
she has a
go
son, so I'm
wrong?
not invested in other men's wives or exes, but if she does, she'll probably teach him some variation of treat women like queens. Never forewarning her son of the ugly side of women, that of which she is, that is selfishness and entitlement. Another broken black family for the world to see, initiated by a black woman. But there is hope, not for her, but for him. See, he's shown women that not only is he not a cheater, but he can also stand the test of time in a sustainable, long-lasting relationship with a woman, have children, and be a good father. Catnip for any female. And his value increases as he gets older, as male value does. His money will more than likely continue to grow if he handles it well, and he's going to enter his silver fox season. Oh, y'all don't know what that is? Quit playing with us. Force.
Bro, it's so funny to watch how pissed off some of these girls are in this generation. Like, I'm telling y'all, these girls are pissed off, y'all.
You want to know why you're so full of anger and rage? It's because instead of listening to men when we talk and taking our word for it, you just wait for us to stop talking so you can complain. That's your fault, nobody else's, and you're suffering just as you deserve to because of it.
These girls are really pissed off because guys are not bending over backwards for them no more. Guys won't accept the stupid test. Guys won't accept the games. Any nonsense, dudes just cut you off. Girls getting pissed.
The problem with not having anything to offer men at all is that why would we tolerate your shit?
Girls are really starting to be like, wow, guys don't fight for us anymore. It's like, no, you play too many games. Like, this is why I keep telling you about where the gender war is coming from, because what's happening is guys don't want to engage in competition anymore, and that's what we used to do back in the day. We used to compete with each other for women. Now dudes don't want to do that no more. Dudes do not want to compete for shorties no more. The minute that they feel it's like, nah, you tripping.
That's because shorties don't have anything to offer anymore. Because even if you throw sex into the equation, all you have to do is say you regret it or you got raped and we're going to jail. So what do you have to offer? Sex robots are going to put a lot of you out of business.
They just did. Why? You think I'm going to deal with your bullshit? You can go talk to Tommy. This is the shit I'm talking about, girls. You're making men break their necks, and they just don't care. Now you're running out of options.
She's actually intimidated by you. See, I thought, foolishly, once I level up, get in better shape, just start dressing better, every girl's gonna be bending over backwards for me. Wrong. Some girls see my value and say, you know what, I'm good. I know this kind of guy is gonna be with a lot of chicks. This kind of guy is gonna expect me to do this and do this, and they're not having it. They're intimidated by the fact that they know what comes with a higher value guy. They're intimidated, bro. It's too much work. They don't want to deal with that much work. You are a lot of work, and rightfully so. You deserve to be a lot of work. If those girls are not willing to put in the work, find a girl who is.
You better fix my entire life, you little shit.
So quick backstory on this chick. She got preggo at 15 with baby daddy number 1, then got preggo with baby daddy 2 at 20. Then she spent her 20s capitalizing on her sexual market value, spending her time in Vegas, and low-key, I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of a baddie. And as soon as she hit 28, she cashed in on the lawyer beta male and got preggo with baby daddy number 3 at 29. Just before she hit the infamous wall, which is the point when she realizes that she is starting to become less sexually desirable by men.
You guys got to stop doing that shit. You're just enabling pointless behavior.
But the moral of the story is, don't be this guy, getting with a girl with multiple baby daddies, because you'll end up like this, posing in pictures and faking a smile with kids that aren't yours. And even worse,
your body count matters because men want to develop, build, and sustain a future with you, not you and the 800 other guys that you slept with before you met us. That's why we want virgins. It's not because we're perverts. It's because we don't want to deal with all that other bullshit. And we shouldn't have to.
Having to see baby daddy number 2 all the time while they co-parent, the true winner is that guy. He shows up to his daughter's birthday with his new wife, knowing that he had sex with 2 girls at the same table, while this guy is taking a huge L. Don't get me wrong, she is a baddie, but I would only casually date her. This was most likely the first time that beta male ever had a girl who was that hot. So he thought that this was the best that he can get, and whatever baggage that came with her, he would just accept that. Yet, if he understood females and practiced game, he would have been able to get more girls that were just as hot as her, and he could have prevented all of this.
You will, as a male or a man, always be sexually superior to women because the wall is ruthless, unforgiving, and inevitable.
Hey, send that girl $1,500 to her Cash App right now. No more 50-50. We ain't playing that roommate. We gotta start treating these women like the goddesses that they are. We should be honored. You serious? That they are in our lives. You taking her on a date, you need to buy an outfit before you take her on that date. Are you dumb? Do you know how honored We should be just to be in their presence.
Bruh.
We should not only pay for their living, assume all financial responsibilities that they have. We should feed them, praise her daily, and
I hope he's
always
dicking
remember,
around.
she is the prize.
Oh, no.
Y'all argue, it's your fault. She cheated, it's your fault. You are here to serve her. So stay focused. Yo, we about to do numbers. Them hoes gonna love this. You know, all you gotta do is tell them hoes whatever they
You had me in the first half.
want to hear about.
Bro, we're still recording.
So you're saying this woman can't remarry a Michael B. Jordan? And do you have a copy of their divorce decree? How do you know he didn't cheat? I'll address all these statements in order. First,
Who cares at all? Who cares? He's a guy loosely named after a basketball player. I don't give a shit. Let's find something important.
Honestly, no, they don't. In reality, they laugh with their friends about the things that they do to you, and they gossip to their friends about how they're doing you wrong and how they're talking to other men. They don't feel bad until they actually lose you. They keep you on the side, and when they lose you, they feel bad.
Women do not give a fuck about your feelings or your problems at all. That's why they walk out on you when you get sick or cheat on you while you're serving in the military. It's because they do not give a fuck at all, which is why being a beta male makes absolutely no god's damn sense. I have actually had my pain laughed at right in front of my face by a woman that I thought I was going to marry someday. Do not feel poorly about how you treat these women because they treat you twice as terribly, and sometimes you can't even see it.
But once again, women are not good at apologizing or realizing that they're wrong. Unless you call them out, then they'll think about it like, dang, maybe I did mess up. But in that moment, women do not feel bad. They think it's funny, and they really feel like it's funny to treat men like shit. Especially good men, especially men that are soft and that will actually let you walk over them. They don't feel bad. In reality, they just believe that you shouldn't be like this and you shouldn't let a woman walk over you. That's their logic. Men, you need to wake up. Women are evil. There are a lot of evil women out here. They don't care about what they do, and they don't care about how they make a man feel. Especially women that have been done wrong. They are miserable inside, and they go around hurting other men.
Where are all the good men at? Nowhere near you, bitch. You mentioned something that bothers you a little bit. Sounds about right.
They're extremely clean and creative beings. They like to decorate.
I'm single, yes. Do I want to date? Sure. If I meet the right person, right? But if
Let's be clear about what the right person is. This would be someone that's the opposite of the man that they let impregnate them. They want him to be a millionaire. He needs to be 6'5", 6'8".
You're out of your fucking mind if you think if you already have one kid and you think that you're going to marry a billionaire or a millionaire. Because unless you hook a Russell Wilson, which is an incredibly difficult thing to do, you're not going to be a single mother and marry a millionaire, because that millionaire is going to look at you and say, well, she already walked out on one man and most likely destroyed his life in court, so I'm not taking the risk. Will he bang you? Most likely, but that's where it's going to end.
He needs to take on all of the responsibilities that Pookie, Ray Ray, and Day Day neglected. He needs to be everything and a whole lot more. Treat them like a queen. He cannot expect that they're going to cook, clean, or be humble, submissive, cooperative, and work with him. They're still going to be able to go.
I don't think most of you birthing people know how much easier it is to take care of a house now than it was back in the 50s. Fuck, you can talk to a vacuum cleaner now and they'll vacuum your floor for you. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're complaining about. I don't. We have dishwashers, we have vacuum cleaners you can talk to. Our washers and dryers are basically buttons now. Like, what the fuck are you complaining about? That you might have to dry some dishes and put them in a cupboard? Jesus Christ.
Go out with their friends to the club. They're still going to be able to entertain other men on the side. They're still going to have just friends in the friend zone.
250.
So body count matters to you when it comes to a woman.
Yes.
So, but it's okay for you to have a high body count.
Yeah, kind of like it doesn't. You don't
Then
care.
your opinion.
Yeah, well, the difference between a man and a woman is that a man having a high body count won't literally destroy his body, mind, and soul. That's the difference.
Is
No. Because it's the same thing for
double
you.
standards.
There's all kinds of.
Yeah, life is full of them. That's why you don't serve in the military.
Yeah, but body count.
Okay, same thing.
I can't lie about height.
You're completely missing the point.
So would you be offended if a woman didn't want to be with you? Your ideal woman didn't want to be.
This is what I'm talking about. You don't even bother listening, and then you wonder why everything just keeps getting worse. Or you cancel the guys that you want the answers from, which makes about as much sense as nothing. Listen just for the sake of listening. You'll be surprised by what you can learn.
With you because of your body count?
No, I mean,
Your ideal 10 out of 10 Victoria's Secret model.
So, okay, so let's say my ideal woman, 10 out of 10, does reject me because I have a high body count. What can I do?
Nothing. Done.
So then you just ask me a question just to like.
But like, would you be like offended by that?
If my ideal woman walked away from me, yes, I would be offended.
So, I mean, that body count does matter.
I just don't understand why it matters. Why you can have a high body count, but God forbid the woman that you're seeing has a high body count.
Because we're the ones that have to support you for the rest of your lives, and we don't want a Toyota with 100,000 miles on it when we can get a Porsche off the lot.
What?
You want to be taken care. You want to have the easiest life a woman can possibly have. Be a virgin when you meet your husband. He will. That's a princess, and he will absolutely treat you like one. He'll still be a man, but he will. The things I would do for a traditional woman.
Your thoughts on the following expression: you don't ask a fish how to catch a fish, you ask a fisherman.
Stupid. That's the best analogy I've heard.
I'm probably going to piss a lot of the guys off with this one, but I don't care. It's the truth. If you find yourself watching, let's call them adult films, and you really enjoy doing that, and you frequently get off to it, you are a cuck. Just think about what you're doing for a second. Laying in the darkness of your room with in your hand, watching two other people, one of them not being you, doing something that you wish you were doing, but don't have the drive or confidence to put yourself in that position. It's not a good look.
All righty then. Until next time.